Hello, all of you gamers, professional and casual out there in the world. I am MegaAmpster. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. Returning viewers, always great to see you here. And we are here. It is time once again to talk Sonic. If you've been here before, you know this is a staple on the channel. And I wanted to wait a little bit for this one. It's been about a little over a week since Sonic Superstars, the next brand new 2D Sonic game, was announced at Summer Game Fest, that presentation they had. Unfortunately, I was spoiled on it ahead of time, but hey, go check out my reaction on the channel. Thank you for all the support on that, by the way. If you're interested, go check that out. But we're here to talk about it because there's been news coming out left and right from gameplay demonstrations that people have had, hands-on impressions that people had from Summer Game Fest, and a lot of news been coming out besides what Sonic Team has shown us in this trailer. So I wanted to kind of talk about everything now that we rounded it up. So if you've been living under a rock or you're not familiar with Sonic and you're wondering what this game is, essentially it's a new 2D game. 2D gameplay, but with like that 2.5D style with 3D models, as you can clearly see here. So not quite a Sonic Mania 2. We will get into that more later on though. But it is that 2D style of gameplay, which honestly, especially since Sonic Mania, I come around a lot on. Like, I've always enjoyed the Genesis games, especially 3 and Knuckles, but like Mania really sold me on 2D Sonic. So this was a very exciting announcement for me. Sometimes to the point now where even 2D Sonic is more exciting of an announcement for me than 3D Sonic is. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, just because Mania was so good. And this game also looks like it's going to be really, really good. So what's really cool, first of all, we got to talk about Knack, Fang, whatever you want to call him. He is here. Somehow they're bringing Knack. I call him Knack, but I'll be curious to see what they call him in the official release of the game. You know, what they'll refer to him as. If it's a regional thing, I don't know. But yeah, essentially brand new. What's really cool about this game, brand new. Unlike Mania, there are no reused zones. Now, some of these zones do look a little familiar in terms of like theming that we've seen from other games, but they're brand new. So no Green Hill. If you like Green Hill, sorry, no Green Hill here. We know about a couple so far. I believe one of these is Bridge Island Zone. I believe this one is called Speed Jungle. So we know a couple of them. What's interesting is this is kind of giving me, and this is kind of be the whole theming of this video, this is giving me vibes of like every single 2D Sonic game we have had up to this point. Like, obviously, it's like the classic Genesis games as well, with Mania thrown in there for good measure. Like, all those games, that's the core gameplay. But they're taking elements from a lot of the other games. The level theming, the zone theming, reminds me heavily of Sonic 1 on the Master System and Game Gear. Bridge Island, Bridge Zone, Speed Jungle, I think it was just called Jungle Zone. Like, that gives me a little bit of Game Gear vibes. We see other things too, like the rail grinding and hanging on to like little hooks and stuff around. Those remind me of Advance and Rush. So it's almost like Sonic Team's looking at the other 2D games and kind of combining, like bringing back a lot of those old elements, which is great because I grew up on Advance, I grew up on Rush. I played the Genesis games a little later because I didn't like fully grow up with them during childhood, but they really are taking elements from all of these 2D games, including Mania, and bringing them into one. Christian Whitehead himself, apparently what happened was his team was actually working on this game, and plans fell through, and they are switching it to a different developer who we'll get to in a second. But he himself confirms that it's using the same engine as Mania. So don't worry about this feeling off. This is not a Sonic 4 situation. This is going to feel like the 2D games. People have been doing side-by-side comparisons of this game to Mania, and it's 1-to-1. So clearly this is going to be a well-playing game if you're into those 2D Sonic games. Really cool features. I mean, we know T. Lopes is helping with the soundtrack. We know Jun Tsunoe is helping with the soundtrack. And we've got 4 playable characters, of course, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, classic Amy, like they have in Origins Plus coming out in like a week as of this recording. So 4 of those, and not only that, but they're adding co-op. So for the main campaign, it's only local, unfortunately, but there is online, and we'll get into that in a sec. Not with like the regular traverse, like story progression like you're seeing here. That's only co-op, local co-op, which kind of stinks. I kind of wish they had online for that, but weird new power-ups going on here. I don't know what this 8-bit jellyfish stuff is. There's like different new special stages and stuff and new powers and stuff, so really, really cool. It is coming to, I believe, all platforms. I know Switch screenshots were shown off recently, and I'm debating, I want it physically, so I prefer not Steam Deck, but at the same time, the portability is nice. I don't know, I haven't fully decided what version I'm getting yet, but to be honest, I might be leaning away from the Switch version right now just to get like that full performance. I don't know if it's going to be 60 frames on Switch. I haven't seen anything that says if that confirms it or not, but that's pretty much what the trailer gave us. Let's go into more of the details here. So, the Sonic Superstars webpage is up. It is live. It is coming fall 2023. So we have more details here. So adventure through the mystical North Star Islands. I love it. South Island, West Island. Was there ever an East Island? I don't think, because the old Genesis games, what is it? Was South Island? South Island was the first game, right? And then West Island was 2? I don't remember. I know West and South Islands exist in the game. So this is just a kind of a nod to that. It's kind of cool. Play Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy Rose, and harness all new Emerald powers to move and attack in dynamic new ways, navigate gorgeous, never-before-seen environments. Environments are a little similar, you know, but they're technically new. Solo or with up to 3 players and stop Dr. Eggman. Fang! Oh, they're calling him Fang! Okay, well now I gotta switch it to Fang. Ah, damn it, Sega. It was either Knack or Fang. I mean, Fang's a cooler name, I gotta admit. Knack the Weasel versus Fang the Sniper. Is a sniper an animal? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Fang. Okay, I gotta get used to Fang. Fang is so cool. If you don't know, Fang was introduced in Sonic Triple Trouble, which was a Game Gear game. I don't know if it was on the Master System. It might have been just Game Gear. It's my favorite Game Gear Sonic game. And he was kind of a rival with Dr. Eggman and Knuckles in that game. And he was playable in Sonic the Fighters. He was playable in at least one of the Sonic Drift games. And he had a cameo with Beat the Dynamite and Bark the Polar Bear in Sonic Mania as like a kind of like lost character, and he's been in the comics and stuff like that. So the fact that they're bringing him back in an official game to this capacity is honestly massive. That's really, really cool. A new spin on classic, the 2D high-speed side-scrolling action platform you know and love. Fully imagined with 3D graphics. So very, very cool. You can play as any of the 4 characters, take advantage of their unique abilities. So they're all going to have unique abilities. Amy, I guess, has like a double jump with her spin hammer, which I think it's going to be similar to how she plays in Origin. So if you've played, well, no one's played it because Plus comes out at the views of their, it's going to be pretty similar from what we've seen. And yeah, she has like a double jump, like spin attack. I think you activate it similarly to the drop dash. At least that's what I've heard. But the fact that he's teaming up with Fang, dude, Dr. Eggman's back with Fang, and there's a new character who we'll also get to in a bit. Harness the power of the Chaos Emerald to multiply, swim up waterfalls, change form, and more. So we've seen in that initial trailer, there was, yeah, like you see like the multiple attack, like that kind of screen nuke attack that Sonic does. And we've seen him go up waterfalls. Change form, I'm not sure if that's referring to the water one still or something else, but first time ever, play through the entire campaign with up to 3 players. Drop in and drop out, that's good. So that's really cool to see. And we got lots of screenshots to go through here. None of these are the Switch version from what I can tell. These are all PC, PS5, Xbox, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, see, there's Amy's hammer spin attack. And she kind of like can run with the hammer out, like whacking stuff. I love it. I love what they did with her. She feels... It's been great, side tangent, it's been great to see Sonic Team and just Sega acknowledge Amy's presence in recent years. I mean, look at Frontiers, look at, you know, Origins Plus, and now this game. The comics have been doing it for forever now, right? But it's like, she feels, it was always back in the day on the Genesis, it was always Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. That was the trio. But now we have the quadrio, what do you call it? Quartet? I don't know. Like, it feels so natural for Amy to be there, and it's great to see. It really is. Yeah, so these are definitely all like the best version screenshots. You can also get this modern, I don't like this, I'm not gonna lie, if you sign up for the newsletter by January 31st of next year, so you have a while after the game launches, you get a, yeah, redefined look for Amy. I'm used to her like Rosie the Rascal classic Amy outfit with the green dress, so this just looks weird to me, but I understand they're supposed to be the same character. I don't know, it looks a little off to me, but cool that it's there. I'm hoping we get other costumes. I think it was Fidel on Twitter who was like, we got to get the Knuckles cowboy hat outfit. I'm like, yes, that's the only one I need. That's it. Maybe Tails with the goggles, like the plain goggles, but Knuckles with the cowboy hat, man. All right, and this was the email that I received because I think I'm subscribed to like the Sega or Sonic newsletter, I think. Not too much more details here, but you can harness the Emerald powers, which is really cool. So yeah, Eggman and Fang are converting the island's giant animals into bagpicks. So giant animals is interesting. There are actually some pictures on Twitter that'll go through Twitter just a bit here to kind of look at some screenshots of that. They look so weird. It's kind of funny. Let's see. I'm looking for new information. Uncover new paths and secrets. That's great to see. Okay, here we go. Local and online battle mode. Challenge players from around the world. So here's where the online comes in. So there is an online component, which is cool. Hoping it's not... I think Mania did this where it's like online leaderboards. I'm really hoping it's like actual like challenging other players. Like, I don't know what battle mode means. It could be like the old school Genesis games where you're like kind of doing a split screen situation. We don't even know if online's up to 4 players. And maybe you get different items to kind of set each other back in the race or something like that. I would hope so. That'd be really cool. But unfortunately, yeah, there's only the local 4-player co-op for that story experience. But hey, there's some kind of online, which is really cool. So getting into more details here, this came out just today as of this recording. So this Takashi Iizuka over at SEGA, he's been doing a ton of interviews lately with people just asking so many details about Sonic Superstars and other SEGA related stuff. So we'll get into this a bit. So after the release of Sonic, this is what I've been wanting Sonic Team to do. The studio will continue to develop the modern and classic formulas separately. Thank you, Iizuka. Thank you, Iizuka-san. Thank you, Sonic Team. This is what I've wanted because we've had generations. We had, I guess, Sonic 4 you could kind of throw into there, and Sonic Forces is the big stinker, right? Where like, especially Sonic Forces, like there was no reason for classic Sonic to be there. It was just as like a nostalgic chew-in, right? And classic Sonic can stand on his own in terms of its own gameplay. Like Nintendo's been doing this with Metroid for a little while now. You know, the 2D and 3D like, and that's all. I think honestly, all video game series, not all. There's some exceptions, but like that have that 2D versus 3D style of gameplay, they should do this. Zelda might be on its way to doing that. Metroid has been doing that. Sonic also has been doing that, but I lost a little bit of faith because it's been 7 years since the last new 2D game was announced. But this announcement and it gives me hope. And Iizuka-san's just confirming here that they're going to be separate. 3D Sonic looks like it's going to be moving on with the Frontiers model. And of course, classic Sonic 2D, we're going to keep going here, and it's great to say. We want to make sure that what we do for games like Frontiers will be different from what we do with Superstars. Makes a lot of sense, Iizuka. Thank you, thank you. They learned from Sonic Forces. I appreciate that. In the early, okay, so this is a bit of a bummer. This is probably the biggest disappointment I've heard. In the early stages of conceptualizing the new classic game, they considered replacing the sprite pixel graphics with fully drawn frame-by-frame animation. This would have been really cool. I also understand that it's a little bit of a painstaking process. I don't want to say excuse, but the reasoning they use here is the team felt that the 3D format would better preserve and convey many of the classic aspects. That's horseshit. I think it's just they didn't want to put in the full effort because frame-by-frame animation, I imagine, would take forever. I mean, look at Cuphead. Right? Like, it would be amazing, I'm sure, but I'd rather get a game in this style and get it sooner. Like, I don't mind this style. I think it looks really good. You know, I honestly think it looks pretty clean. Pixel, I mean, would I've preferred, like, the sprite-based graphics? Sure, but I think this looks good. And, you know, maybe, honestly, some people who are on the fence about 2D Sonic might be more willing to play it with these 3D visuals, so we'll see. Yeah, Bridge Island Zone, Speeding Jungle. The demo has no life counter. I mean, I bet you the game's going to have a no life counter option. There should be. That'd be awesome. I mean, even Sonic Origins has that, right? So they're probably going to implement it here. It's so funny to me that Sonic Origins now makes so much more sense in hindsight. I mean, like, of course, Sega likes to re-release the Genesis games, but it really is like the prelude to this game. Like, they were building it up to get into this game, so... This is funny. I specifically like how he calls out Shadow will not appear in Superstars. It's just, and now people were like, oh, bring classic Shadow. I'm like, no, they're never going to do that. They're never going to. Shadow is his own canon. They're not going to redesign a classic form for him. You know, they're not going to. So there we go. Bursting that bubble early on. Here's the interesting part. Iizuka urged all fans of the character to wait for the third movie. Spoiler alert. And confirmed that the studio has plans for a game featuring him. No. This does not mean Shadow the Hedgehog 2, okay? It's never gonna happen. I promise you. What I hope this means is that we will see Shadow and other characters reintroduced into the 3D Sonic games, right? Shadow was playable in Forces. He was just a skin for Sonic. Nothing else super unique about him. What I'm really hoping for this, and this actually could very well happen, is they're going to capitalize on Shadow. I don't think it's going to be a separate game for Shadow. It could be. We don't know. I think the follow-up to Frontiers, and I know we're talking about Superstars here, but the follow-up to Frontiers, I think could have playable Shadow. And because it's such a combat focused game in terms of the different moves Sonic has. Imagine that with Shadow, but with like his Chaos Emerald powers, like Chaos Spear, Chaos Blast, Chaos Control. Imagine playing as Shadow and being able to slow down enemies, swoop in from behind, and do like the drop kick he does to Silver in Sonic 06. Like, that's all I'm saying. Nerding out a little bit, but I think that's what they could do. I think that might be what Iizuka's teasing here. We will see. Right now, the team is focusing on presenting a good game and all of its content at release in a presentable state. Okay, and he's not ready to talk about... There's going to be DLC. I would love for them to add characters. I think they totally could. That'd be super cool. Bring in Mighty and Ray from Mania Plus in here. That'd be awesome. And then finally, when asked about the potential remake of Sonic Adventure 2, Iizuka said although he loves that part, right now he and the studio want to create new things and ideas. Which, honestly, fair. You know? I would rather have... Personally, I'd rather have a new 2D game and a new 3D game than remakes of like Sonic Adventure. Well, okay, Sonic Adventure 1 I have a massive soft spot for, so that maybe that is the exception, but like, I don't know. At the very least, if they could re-release the older games and clean them up a bit and bring them to new platforms, like how were Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 not on the Switch? You know, like stuff like that. But a full-on remake we honestly don't need. I'm just gonna put that out there. Yeah, we saw that, so I'm just gonna go through here and see if there's any new info. Okay, so this isn't the official art, but the title screen looks familiar to this. Shout out to, this is Ryan Rudnick on Twitter, and people have been filling in. There is a blank spot in the back right, and here they fill in Fang. Honestly, I think Fang's probably going to be like an unlock, like he's going to be playable in the game, which would be awesome, because he could play like a 2D classic Shadow where he has a gun. So, as his neutral special, he wields a gun. Yeah, no, that's never existing, sorry. And there's like different cool, like you can see gameplay here of Speed Jungle. It looks really good. And like obviously there's, you know, the potential, you know, issues with the developer who we'll get into in just a bit. Get to see Fang's 3D model, very cute, very cute. T. Lopes, my guy, he is contributing music. So it's not just T. Lopes. We know Jun Tsunoe, I think, is just in charge of the overall soundtrack, which is really cool. I mean, it's great to see. Oh, when he's doing more. But yeah, look at the giant flicky. The giant flicky. So it seems like the boss battles might be like specifically focused around like these massive flickies or massive animals, and you gotta try to break them out. Which is just, the designs are really funny. I love seeing all this fan art, man. This Fang art. It's great to see. I'm trying to see. Oh, very cool. Seems to be a third special stage. Right, okay, so here's the interesting thing. So, yeah, there are different kinds of special stages. You can see here. Here's one. Here's one with tails, I guess. It's this weird, like, almost like floating thing. I think that's the screenshot we saw. So it almost looks like there's going to be different types of special stages. You saw that weird 3D swinging thing in the trailer. They also showed off what looked to be like the classic Sonic 1 special stages coming back. I may have heard that there are character-specific special stages, which would be interesting. Oh, shut up. Screw you. That's just Sonic 4 Episode 2. Really cool stuff. A couple of things. Yeah, okay, so there's the title screen. Oh, these are all previews from Summer Game Fest. There's totally going to be a fifth character in the back there. We will see. Yeah, okay, they went over that. I'm trying to, there's a couple things I want to cover before we call it quits on this video. Let's see if I can look this up on Twitter. Oh, I love the song. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So shout out to Sai here on Twitter. So there's a new character who was not in the trailer that we've seen before. Their name is Trip. I forget what animal they're based off of, but I saw a certain tweet of somebody like confirming what, some kind of like armadillo or something. The new character introduced in Sonic Superstars, he's expected to appear alongside Dr. Eggman and Fang the Sniper, according to Iizuka-san. And I mean, there's a couple of some videos going around online of like Fang and Trip interacting. So I love the design, very cute. We'll see what happens. Maybe Trip is that fifth playable character. We honestly do not know. That'd be really cool, but who's to say? Really cool to see them introducing new characters, you know? I'd like to see that. I mean, with Sage in Frontiers and now Trip in this game, the comics have been doing it. It's great to see them not just rely on the old characters, so that's very cool. And then, one more thing I want to cover. This is something that people we're worried about. The developers of Sonic Superstars are developed by Arzest, which... Yeah, okay, so originally it was gonna, be exactly. So Christian Whitehead's team was working on this game, but then it fell through. Sonic 3's composer being Jun Sonoe, he's gonna be returning for this game. Jun Sonoe assigned audio lead, okay. Superstars completely developed by Arzest, so a Japanese studio co-created by director Naoto Oshima, which is great. He was like one of the original designers of the original Sonic, specifically Sonic 1 and Sonic CD. And if you see some of the gameplay online, I've gotten a lot of Sonic CD vibes in terms of the level design. Hopefully not like over the top, like I'm looking at you wacky workbenches. As long as we're not getting any wacky workbenches in this game, then I'm happy with that. I mean, he was one of the original designers for Sonic, so that's really cool. Right. Oshima approached by Sonic creative officer Iizuka after collaboration plans with developer Christian Whitehead fell through. So hey, I mean, that's so cool. The fact that they reached out to Oshima-san like is awesome. Like the fact that they did is really, really cool. Because otherwise the Sonic team could have been like, oh, we're gonna do this ourselves. And it's like, I don't know if I would trust that. I trust Arzest more. Now the thing is with Arzest is they are the ones who worked on Balan Wonderworld. And obviously that game speaks for itself in terms of what happened here. But I want to clear up anything before, you know, we start bad-mouthing them too much. They've also worked on, like, I think Yoshi's New Island, which wasn't received well. Hey Pikmin, which also wasn't received super duper well. The thing is, we'll go to Sonic Stadium here. Thank you, Sonic Stadium. Shout out to them. The thing is, and I mean, I don't know about everything behind the scenes. To me, the issue with Balan Wonderworld and Arzest before was Yuji Naka. So here we go. Obviously, he's not with them anymore. He and Oshima had a big falling out, or he really started it, and Oshima was just like, yeah, cool, okay. In an interview, Iizuka noted that Naoto Oshima and his company Arzest are the primary developers, and Jun Sonoe on audio. Clean. Iizuka emphasizes that Oshima, who remains a friend from their days working on the series, brings experience as both an artist and a level designer for Sonic 1 and Sonic CD. So he hasn't been with the games since CD. It's been 30 years. And this man's come back. It's great to see him back. Though Snow is credited to be head of the audio, both, will be contributing. Yeah, others both inside and outside of SEGA will be contributing, including T. Lopes, which is, great. Can't wait to hear the tracks he does for that game. Right. Yoshi's New Island and Balan Wonderworld have been critically panned. But clearly, I mean, we know the game's physics are literally in the Sonic Mania engine, so we know it's going to play well. The visuals look really good. The level design will be the main thing for me. I'll have to see. Like I said, I'm a little wary of that Sonic CD inspiration just because of how confusing some of that level design was. I think we're in safe hands, though. We've had plenty of hands-on impressions. Those of us who love 2D Sonic, who have played the game, they're saying it's great. So I will take their word for it. And like I was saying before, Yuji Naka, I think, was the issue with Balan Wonderworld. Because he was was he creative director, producer of that game? And that man's a programmer. He doesn't know how to creatively direct games, and clearly it was taking out of control, and Oshima and the Arzest team were just there for the ride. So I do not blame them. I think they are plenty competent to be able to handle this game. And that was also a 3D game, keep in mind. This is a 2D focused gameplay. I think this is gonna be a slam dunk. I think, you know, obviously would I have loved Mania 2? Yes, of course I would, but I think this is another fantastic option. And to be honest, this is probably going to set the standard for 2D Sonic games in the future, because based on what Iizuka-san is saying, this is the future. This is the future. We're going to get 2D Sonic games in this style like Superstars, and then we're going to get 3D games like Frontiers. And honestly, this is the most confident I've been in SEGA and Sonic Team with Sonic since Adventure 1 and 2. I mean, even then, it's like some of the gameplay styles were a little weird. This is a confident SEGA that is producing phenomenal Sonic games here. And I cannot wait for this game to come out. No idea when. All we know is fall, so maybe September, but I'm gonna guess like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even in November. It might be later, but I'm super, super excited. All the people involved, it's great to see the pedigree behind it, the hands-on impressions we've heard about. Really, really great stuff to see. So with that, I am going to end this video here before it's already 25 minutes. This has already been going on for super duper long, but hey, I appreciate if you made it all the way through this video. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comments below. What do you think about Arzest developing the game? What do you think about the art style and the visuals, or the fact that do you wish it was Mania 2 instead of this game? all the stuff. I know there was a lot of information that was covered here. If there's any other information that you've heard about that you'd like to add in the comments below, feel free to leave it there. Otherwise, hey, I'm very excited. I am going to be streaming this game for sure. I also will be streaming Sonic Origins Plus the day after it comes out. That is Saturday, June 24th, probably 7 p.m. Eastern. That's the usual. I'm going to get back to regular streaming soon, I promise. Sonic 06 and Street Fighter 6 World Tour mode are the plans for like weekly regular streams. But I may wait till I move out of my current apartment. But that's for another update or video or whatever. But thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Stay classy out there, Sonic fans. It's a good time to be a Sonic fan, especially both 2D and 3D. It's really just a great time to be a Sonic fan right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next one. Go fast. Never forget. Or I will come find you. Yes.